In this video, we'll be talking about what dojis are, how to identify them, what they indicate, and what tools you can use to help you identify dojis. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Ramel, and on this channel we talk about all things related to finance, investing, and building wealth. We discuss mindsets, strategies, techniques, and resources to help you in your journey to build wealth. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. We're a new and growing channel, and anything you can do to help support us is greatly appreciated. Alright, so this is actually the second part of my candlestick chart reading series. In the first video, we spoke about how to read a candle chart, what a candlestick is, and what things you should look out for. So this builds upon that because ultimately in a candlestick chart, you'll see two things. One is a candlestick, which is, a general, you have a body and two shadows, upper and lower shadow. And then you also see dojis, which don't necessarily have a body because there's no big mass. And we'll go into more detail about what dojis are, but this kind of builds upon that. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and check out the first video. I'll leave a link somewhere in the description so that you can see it. Alright, so in this video, we'll be discussing what a doji is, what Doji Stars are, both morning and evening Doji Stars, what Gravestone dojis and Dragonfly dojis are, and what they indicate, and finally, what tools you can use to help you identify certain dojis. Alright, so first, what is a doji? Before that, let's just give you a quick overview of the candlesticks that we reviewed previously. So there's two candlesticks that I mentioned. One is a green candlestick and another is a red candlestick. One of the characteristics of a candlestick is their anatomy. They basically have an upper shadow, a body, and a lower shadow. These can either be green or red depending on where the price closes and opens. And this is kind of the overview of what a candlestick looks like. Again, if you want a more in-depth explanation into candlesticks, go ahead and take a look at that video. I'll link it in the description. Alright, now the difference between a regular candlestick with a upper shadow, body, and lower shadow is that a doji doesn't necessarily have a body per se. It actually just looks like a straight line. So what dojis are is basically prices that show both high price, low price, but most importantly, the opening and closing price basically close at the same number. So that's what makes this a doji. Because it opens at the same price as it closes, it doesn't necessarily have a body or a big mass in the center of the doji indicator. Dojis can indicate trend reversals, which is why it's important for you to know what a doji is, and it can help make investors make informed decisions about when to buy. I mean, ultimately, that's the whole reason behind reading candlesticks, because they give you more information than a general line graph will show you. All right, let's get into some of the dojis that you may see. So two of the most common dojis are basically doji patterns, and one is a morning doji star, and the second one is an evening doji star. And what these are basically indicators of an pending basically a pending trend reversal. So you'll see here that an evening doji star basically is a bearish indicator because it shows that there might be a negative turn in the stock performance. You'll see in my example, as well as on the screenshot that I show of Microsoft, that you basically have a couple of increases in price in your candlesticks leading up to the doji. And then once you have your doji, it starts to decline and it goes on a basically downward trend. The opposite of that, which is a bullish indicator, is the morning star doji. And it's literally just the opposite. So it's basically characterized by a set of red candles followed by a doji and then preceded by green candles. So you'll see here that these are two indicators of trend reversals using the regular format, basically the normal doji indicator. And again, those are morning Doji Stars and evening Doji Stars. The reason I say that it's a normal looking doji is because you have an upper shadow, you have the line, which is basically the body, and then a lower shadow. The inverse of this is basically Gravestone and Dragonfly dojis. So you'll see here that a Gravestone doji may indicate a bearish trend reversal and may be followed by a declining stock price. You'll see here in the anatomy of the dojis, the Gravestone doji has a high price, a low price, and basically the opening and closing price are similar to that of the low price. So it looks like a gravestone. If you think about it, you have the ground, which is your horizontal line, and a gravestone, which could be the vertical line. So if you want to remember, or if you want to picture it, basically this looks like a gravestone. In the example that I show, you'll see that you have green candles that's followed by a gravestone doji, and then preceded by a trend reversal and has red candles. The inverse is true of the Dragonfly doji. Basically, this is a bullish trend, meaning that once you see this Dragonfly doji, the price of the stock might increase. So you'll see here, it's basically characterized by, looks like a T, basically, right? Your opening and closing price is similar to the high price. That's why it basically looks like a T. And in the chart that I show, you basically have a bunch of red candles leading up to a Dragonfly doji, and then basically doing a trend reversal and starting to increase in price. In terms of how you want to remember this, think of the body of a dragonfly. It's not necessarily a T, it's close to it, but that's the gist of it. All right, now tools. What tools can you use to help you find where dojis happen? Obviously, you can just go on any sort of brokerage or stock analysis tool that shows candlesticks, but there's one that I'd like to talk about in a little bit more detail, and that is actually tradingview.com. It's a free platform. You can go there, and what's nice about it is if you look at the screenshot that I put on the screen, it actually calls out different symbols on the candlestick chart. You'll see there's a whole bunch of green, red, and gray symbols. It looks like little callouts on the candlestick charts. The one that I have here screenshotted is the Doji Star. So it actually says DS, and it shows you where Doji Stars are happening. The other forms of indicators are D for Doji. You also see BE, which is a bearish engulfing, and that's talking about more candlestick patterns or trends. But I think what I'd like to highlight is that this is a great platform. Aside from giving you candlestick information and volume and all of those sorts of standard data, it also does show you where certain indicators are happening, or where certain dojis or bearish engulfings are happening. All right, guys, that's what I had for this video. I guess two things that I'd want to clarify. If you don't know the terms bearish and bullish, bearish basically means that it's a negative outlook, or it's pessimistic, or it's basically a decline in stock price. Bullish means just the opposite. You're optimistic, stock price is increasing. So you'll hear them, be characterized as like this stock looks bearish, meaning that people are thinking it's going to drop. This stock is bullish, meaning that people think the stock is going to rise. Or it could even be, an indicator of a person's mindset. This guy is bearish on this stock because of X, or that guy is bullish on this stock because of Y. So those are two terms that I probably should have mentioned in the beginning of the video, but if you don't know what it is, hopefully now you know. All right, guys, that's what I had for this video. Hope you got some good information out of this. Again, this is the second part of my series. The first part is really how to read candlesticks, the general anatomy, the most common candlestick form you'll see. And this kind of shows you why dojis are important. Again, these are indicators that there may be a trend reversal. So it's good for you to know. And if you are looking at reading candlesticks and using this information to inform some of your trades, then it's great to have this in your back pocket. As an overview, I went over what dojis were. I went over two patterns that you might see. based on standard Doji anatomy. So basically, you have an upper shadow, lower shadow in the body, and those were the morning Doji Stars, and evening Doji Stars. And then I also went into more detail about gravestones and dragonflies. So I hope this was useful. I tried to give you 2 bearish indicators and 2 bullish indicators, and finally a tool that'll help you in furthering your study or furthering your education in reading candlesticks and identifying where dojis and other sorts of patterns happen. Alright guys, thank you again for all the support. If you'd like to connect with me on other social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, I'll leave links in the description down below. If you know someone that's looking into candlestick chart reading and you think this would be useful for them, go ahead and share this video with them. Let them know what we do on this channel and what we provide in terms of information. This is all free for now. A lot of this information could actually be a paid course, but I think it's important to give back to the community. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.